the October. Good morning. Trying to get my clouds right. They look a little different than what I've dialed in, so we'll just have to see how it goes. Just trying to make sure I got everything that I wanted in the cockpit and the cockpit with me. Yep. Yeah, we ain't doing too bad. We'll just have to see how it goes. So, where are we flying to? So we're flying from Humberside Airport, and we're going to go to Teesside International, and then where else are we going here? So, Tees Transporter Bridge, Durham Castle, Angels of the North, Tyne Bridge, St. James Park, and we're going to end up back at Newcastle Airport. So it's like an interesting day. The clouds looked really weird when I did live weather, so I decided to adjust them a little bit. So I put the bottoms up at around 9,000 feet. So we should be okay. So but at least we'll have some clouds to look at. So that'd be cool. Alrighty, let's get this plane started. I think I'll be okay. I don't think I need a pushback. Alrighty, fuel valve. Fuel valve. Beacon light. Beacon light. Master battery.
Setting master battery.
Magneto start. Master alternator.
Adjusting alternator.
Taxi light. Avionics on.
Humberside ground Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf requesting pushback.
Stop pushback.
Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf pushback request accepted.
It does seem odd to me that when you start the plane, it's not necessarily you start the plane, but you turn the avionics on, that they think that's a good time to push back an airplane. I'm like, no, that's not right. Alrighty, ATC. ATC. Alrighty. So we'll grab this guy and kind of put him up out of the way a little bit. Set 3. So, where are we going? Oh. Looks like we're going somewhat north. I remember looking on the map, it kind of looked that way. So, set 4.
Humberside ground Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf with uniform request taxi to the active north departure.
Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf taxi to and hold short of runway 2 using taxiway Charlie Bravo Alpha Charlie cross runway 8 Charlie. Contact tower on 124.905 when ready.
Set 1.
Taxi to and hold short runway 2 via taxiway Charlie Bravo Alpha Charlie cross runway 8 Charlie Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Okay. So, guess we'll get going. Parking brake.
Adjusting parking brake.
So I'm gonna Give it full right rudder and see if I can get this plane to turn here. Oh, it actually is working pretty good. That's kind of amazing. Normally from like a dead stop, the Cessna does not. Boy, this is a narrow taxiway. Normally from a dead stop, a Cessna does not turn that well. Usually you have to get some movement going on. Okay, that's a hold short line, but looks like we got a taxi to get somewhere. And there's a lot of clouds in the sky. I tried to turn them down, but I couldn't. But you know, if it says they're at 9,000 feet, we'll be okay. But it's a little more clouds. I put few clouds, and I'm kind of like, yeah, that don't. To me, that don't look like few clouds. Trying to figure out where am I going. This is kind of like take a ride around the airport. Wow. No, we'll just go with it. Don't have a lot of choice here. I know when I look down at my heading, because I dialed in the runway heading and my heading indicator just as so I can just glance down and kind of go like, where are you? And I mean, I was completely opposite of where I should be, so we'll keep following these crazy blue arrows. Too funny. Oh boy. Could have took a shortcut and went right down the runway, but evidently they don't want you to do that. Oh, it's hilarious. Appears like they don't have any taxiways to get you down here, I guess. Seems a little odd. But gotta follow the directions. Because by the looks of it, gonna have to go down here and then spin around to take off. There's two runways here, so. But I was over on that side, so. Is this a runway here? Yes. Looks like I'm gonna have to do a 180 down here. Come on. That wasn't good. All of a sudden my headset lost tracking. Big time. Just sat there and shuddered. Okay, what do we got here? No, we ain't at the end of the runway yet. Wonder why the taxiway markers went away. That's kind of weird. Well, hopefully we'll see. Where am I supposed to be going? Hopefully it's 02's up here. Oh, too funny. Well, we got red here. Sure enough, 02. So set 1. Set 3.
Humberside Tower says to November 256 Bravo Golf at runway 2 ready for takeoff north departure.
Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf cleared for takeoff runway 2 north departure approved.
Set 1.
Cleared for takeoff runway 2 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Landing light. Nav light. Taxi light. At least I remembered that before I took off. Turn. 02. I'm at the right place. Rotate. Was trying to give it just enough rudder input to keep it on the center line there. Worked out pretty well, actually.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, continue for north departure. I will contact you next when you leave my airspace.
Set 1.
Humberside Tower says to November 256 Bravo Golf continue for north departure.
So, trying to get myself back on course here. Said I should be tracking 328. So, kind of in this direction. So, everything looks flat. So, where am I going? I'm going west. Alrighty, so that means if I'm going to be going in a west direction, and I need to be even plus 1,000. So I'll let her climb up to 2,500. How far away is our next place? Okay, so the next airport is 68 miles away. So we got a ways to go. So I'll go up to 2,500 feet. Once we get up to about 2,000, I'll start feathering the power back. I'm trying to improve my sight picture when you're climbing like this. I'm climbing out at about 500 feet a minute, probably 2300 RPMs. So your pitch angle is such that your view out over the nose is kind of poor, so you have to kind of look alongside of
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, you are leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
set one.
Humberside Tower, Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf, frequency change.
Okay, so I went down to 2200 RPM. I'll try to get level flight there. Level flight here. But I still need to climb a little bit, so I'm gonna take a slight detour. I think. So I'm gonna go deviate off my flight plan just a little bit, go alongside this bridge here. Because I want to try to do something and see if it'll work. But I want to get the plane kind of trimmed up before I do that. So 2200. Okay. This may be a little disconcerting. How are we doing? Not too bad. Still ain't quite where I want it. Okay, we'll go for it. Cockpit. Cockpit. Okay. I wanted to try to do this. It's a little bit crazy, but I still wanted to try it. I wanted the plane fairly well trimmed before I did it. But I wanted to do an outside view. And what I need to do is I need to have my instruments out here. So when I'm flying, I kind of like know what's going on. I can kind of see what's going on, but it would be kind of cool to have my instruments out here. And also I'd probably, that's okay for a view for the plane. So let me get back in the plane. But I really wanted to try this and see how well it worked. So far I am really, really, really happy, but I need to get back in the plane. Cockpit. Cockpit. Okay, so I did great. I mean, I lost 100 feet, but that's cool. That's exactly what I wanted to do. And I wanted to do it early in the flight. That worked great. That's pretty cool. My word, is that glare terrible. Oh my goodness. Wow. Why is that true? It's just the glare off the sun. And it's kind of in the direction I'm going. I didn't take that into consideration. Cockpit. Yeah, it must just be coming off the clouds that it's doing this, so. Cockpit. Yeah, that worked out pretty good. Oh my word, that's gonna be bad. So, gotta turn a little bit here. So I actually need to go up in elevation. Wish I could do something about this, but I don't know what to do. I don't want to fly in clear skies. I just don't want to do that, but... I have the bottom of the clouds at like 9,000 feet. This is weird. I'm trying to get myself back on course here. On course, it looks like I won't be flying right into that, so that's okay. I think that'll be okay. So I'm flying more northerly, not westerly, so. See, my RPM dropped a little bit. Yeah, so what I want is, and actually I tried it. I used a program called, FSU PC, something like that. I can't remember exactly. 7. The 7th version of it. And I'm the head of development of Fly with Lua. So Lua scripts are kind of my comfort zone. So I've seen this program lets you create Lua scripts. And I also seen that this program allows you to with the current version, you can actually create windows. So I went, oh great. So if I can, and you can make a window that's on the desktop. I went, great. So if I can make a window on the desktop and I can get information out of the sim, so I can get elevation, I can get the trim, I can get heading, altitude. I can get all that information and I can, in text form, shove it into a window and the window will be displayed on the desktop. And then I could take that window and bring it into VR Cockpit like my chatty window is and a couple of other windows are. So it would allow me to do that and I went, oh great, this is cool. So I went ahead and I wrote the script. Script worked great and got on the desktop, it looked great. So I tried to use it with voice command, which I used to basically replicate the lack of VR controllers. None of my voice commands worked. I went, what's up with this? Well, what appears to be going on is, as soon as I say a voice command, I lose focus. The window focus is no longer on Microsoft Flight Simulator, so it doesn't accept the commands. And you can hear it. I can hear it in the headset. It's you can hear a ding. And basically, what that is that if you don't have focus for a window on your desktop, and if you try to press a key and it's not accepting it, it will kind of alert you to that effect. And that's what I was hearing. And so I'm kind of like working with a developer, you know, to kind of like, can we fix this? Because it would be cool where I could be out of the cockpit, and I'm not the only one looking for this. Because none of your tools, when you leave the VR cockpit in Microsoft Flight Simulator, none of your tools come with you. Like this VR toolbar, it does not, it won't, when I'm outside of the cockpit, it won't show up. None of them do. It's kind of like, come on guys, you brought VR support. You're missing a lot of the, how should I put this, expected VR behavior in other simulators. And I'm just not talking about X-Plane, I'm talking about more than that. That this is just expected behavior. When you say you have VR support, then that stuff should be a given, but it's not. So until we get that, then you have to figure out workarounds. So, and that's kind of what I'm doing. So, but it was just disappointing. You know, I wrote the script. The script worked great. You know, and but I can't use it. So so I wanted to do that little test back there to kind of see how how discerning is it to be kind of basically like in your chair, out behind an airplane, flying it in VR. There's a big difference when you're in your chair and you're looking at a screen that's kind of showing that, as opposed to being in VR, three-dimensional, where you can basically look down and you can basically see the distance that you are above the ground and you're flying along. To many people, that may not be a good thing to do. In my case, it's just part of the experience. It's just a lot of fun. So so it worked out. I was quite happy, and I was happy I could have the plane well enough in control that I could keep the plane without worrying about you know, crashing into the ground or just doing something stupid. So that worked out pretty good. So alrighty. So it's still got a ways to go. We got 47 nautical miles to go yet. So I got to shove it even more north because of where how far I went off the course. So I'm just trying to get the plane back on course here. Kind of weird the way the clouds are. But if I could get that to work, you know, where basically you have a HUD, you know, a VR, and that's what I'm calling this, a VR HUD. You know, that you could have a HUD that basically when you're out behind, outside the airplane, that you would have that important information that where you don't need it in your face. You just need it where you can look at it and kind of go, oh, okay, so everything looks good. I'm under control. That would be slick. That would be quite slick. That'd be a big benefit to flying in VR, and especially like kind of what I'm doing on my flights right now is just sightseeing. You know, so you know, this first leg is just to get from one place that I had seen most of the points of interest already. The bridge I'd already seen before, but it got me a good opportunity to kind of see the bridge without the plane, without having to kind of look through the post, look through it, where you could get a really good view of the bridge unobstructed, and that was one of my goals. So, oops. So, what's the elevation at the next airport? 115 feet. So, it means my pattern will be at about 1,000 feet. Got our runways. We have one runway, 5 and 23. So, if I took off from 02 back there, and if over the course of all these many miles, the weather is the same, And I probably should be landing on 5, but I don't really know that yet. But we'll just have to see. So, just as a, I'm going to put this pointer on 5. So my heading indicator is pointed. It's set for the. I'm not using it. I'm hand flying, so I'm not using autopilot. So I put my heading indicator on the heading of where the runway is. So it kind of helps me. So if I kind of continue on this heading, the runway. It's gonna be over on my right, so. But I'm a little off course, so it may not work out that way, but. Yeah, the clouds are high enough, but that they shouldn't be any cause for alarm. What they do is because of their, it sure seems like there's a lot of them. I don't know if I'd call that few clouds, but that's what it's given me. It kind of shadows the terrain, so you don't get as much of the sun. But also, at just the time of day that I fly at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and that makes it about 4 o'clock over here in the UK. And so I try to make my flights that aren't too long so that I don't run out of daylight, because you're always flying with the sun kind of low in the sky. So normally the colors are a little bit better than what I'm seeing right now, and it's partly because of the cloud cover, but it's kind of cutting out some of the color. So what kind of runway we got here? Oh, it's 7,500 feet, so more than a big enough runway to put this plane down on. I've landed it on just a little above 3,000 feet, so I was surprised I could do that. But I've gotten way better about flying an airplane and landing an airplane, so. Yeah, so the plane's trimmed pretty good for level plate. It still has a little right turning tendency, just a little bit, not a lot. So if I let go of the yoke, plane wants to roll a little bit to the right. It's not bad at all, just slightly. But I don't have my hands on the yoke at all, and right there, see, it's turning just a little bit to the right. So the plane's trimmed up pretty nice. It makes doing hand flying a lot easier. Just I have 108 hours in a Cessna 172 training. I was close to getting my license, but the stress of work kind of drove me out of the cockpit. For the first 10 hours of learning how to fly an airplane, the first instructor I had evidently didn't well, let me rephrase that. He certainly didn't convey to me how important it was to trim an airplane. I distinctly remember doing touch and goes, and yeah, I'm already famous. I don't need to be. I distinctly remember doing touch and goes, and so I would take off from a touch and go, take off at the initial, and so you take off, you make your turn, and then on downwind you're supposed to call the tower, and I would have such a hard time pushing that mic button in because I had so much pressure pushing the yoke back at my chest. And I just couldn't. I was like, it was so difficult. And so I was with that instructor for a while. And I remember he was busy something. So I flew with another instructor, and he was watching me, and he goes, "Has anybody told you how to trim an airplane?" And I says, "I don't think so." He says, "It doesn't look that way." So he told me how to trim an airplane. Man, the difference was night and day. So when you're on your initial turn for your initial downwind, or that's what basically you call the tower, and you basically tell them, "Hey, I'm what," you tell them what your intentions are. And if the plane's trimmed, pushing down that mic button is a non-issue. It's a non-issue. You just push it down, talk to them, you know, and you can just let go of the yoke, and the plane's going to stay level flight. That's what a trimmed airplane gives you, and it dramatically changed my my enjoyment of flying an airplane tremendously. So anymore, I mean, the plane's got to be in trim. It's unacceptable to be out of trim. It's unacceptable for me to be able to not be able to take my hands off the yoke and the plane basically fly at least level flight. You're always going to have like a left or a right turning tendencies depending on wind, depending on a bunch of stuff. But at least level flight, that should be a given. You know, so I fly an airplane with valve index. I right now I have one valve index controller on my left hand. My left hand is also how I am controlling the airplane, both the yoke in and out and left and right. But I'm doing it with my fingertips, because on the valve index controller, that's all I'm given is just fingertips. And but if the plane's in trim, it's easy. It's really easy. Plane out of trim, it's work. so because of that, you don't necessarily, I mean, if I get lazy, yeah, I'll pop on the autopilot, and we'll let the autopilot take me there. But most of the time, I kind of enjoy the enjoyment of just being able to control an airplane like this, just hand flying. So. And the other thing that I try my darndest to do is follow reasonably to like rules. I mean, the one rule is that if you're flying in this direction westerly, that you're even, so it's an even 1,000 plus 500 feet. If you're traveling easterly, then it's odd 1,000 plus 500 feet. I know that's how it is back home. I assume it's that way here in the UK, but I haven't investigated that. But it's just part of what I feel is important flying an airplane. And the other goal of mine is plus or minus 100 feet. I really don't want to be, if I say, you know, even plus 500, that's 2,500 feet. 2,400 feet is where I will make a corrective action. 2,600 feet, I will make a corrective action. And it's just how I fly, so. And right now it's like a 23, so it's kind of like, whoops. Get her back. So we got 27 more nautical miles to go. The scenery certainly is gorgeous here. All this like farmland forever, and then these little villages. It's so cool. So I think I'm going to try to stay in Microsoft Flight Simulator until I think it's next week. There's a new Flight Sim update coming out. So I think I'm going to try to stay in Microsoft Flight Simulator till then. And depending on how that goes, I may switch over to X-Plane. I have some, I bought Orbit scenery. There's like 3 different orbits for UK, and I really want to try it out to see what the difference is between what we get here in Microsoft Flight Simulator and what we get in X-Plane with Orbit. So I'm really kind of anxious to try it. I know performance-wise that part of it'll be better, but what I don't know is when I load in that heavy scenery, how big an performance hit that'll be. I won't know that until I try that. Kind of drifted up in course a little bit here. Get it back about where I need to be. Yeah, I would say it's about fair. Amber with lots of red in it. So, what do we got here for him? I guess we call them hills. Don't look like. Looks like I should be high enough. They ain't gonna bother me any, so. Do see a lot of gliding clubs out here. All seen them like all through the UK. So we still got 20 miles, so I assume we got to get over these until the elevation of the airport's 115 feet. And these hills or mountains, whatever you want to call them, are probably 1,500 feet. Then probably got to get on the other side of them, I would think. 20 feet out, 20 miles out, so That would probably make about, probably be about right. That last rise over there, probably, I'm thinking after that. Could be in the valley there, but I'm thinking not. But when you're flying where you've never flown before, you really don't know. I have been by the Angels of the North before, earlier in one of my flights, so I have seen that before. I want to try to look at that like outside of the airplane, so it could get entertaining. Because I want to be kind of close to the ground, but the first test I did was pretty good, so I'd never want to land that way. It just seems like that would be landing outside of the cockpit when you've never really done that before. Seems like would be too much, a pretty big challenge, but I don't think I'd try it. If you're sightseeing and looking for something, that's different, but it looks like we got like a little river running through. Yeah, looking that way. Little river running through this valley here. I think my goal for this next airport is just do a touch and go. I think I'll be okay on fuel. We'll have to see how that goes. So easy to just enjoy the scenery and not pay attention to your flight plan. So we're saying 15 miles out, so. And when I get to probably about 10 out, then I'll start pulling the power back and try to get working my way down to a pattern altitude. So 5 and 23. With that haze and glare, that makes it difficult to sort of see things. It may be realistic, but it doesn't make it any less difficult. So I've been slowly like just working the power out. Definitely gonna clear all of this. Try to do a search for an airport. Set 2. Set 1.
Teesside Tower Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf is 8 miles southeast with Sierra to land.
Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf Teesside Tower. Enter left traffic, runway 23. Altimeter 29er.9er, 2 wind 273 at 7.
So she told me
Make left traffic
2-3.
runway 23 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
So I'm getting my heading indicator over to 2-3. 2-1, 2-2, 2-3. Okay. Set 2.
Teesside Tower Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf for touch and go.
Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf Teesside Tower. Make left downwind, runway 23. Altimeter 29er.9er, 2 wind 273 at 7.
Fly left downwind runway 23 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
I got a helper here and I'm trying to make some sense out of it. I think I got it figured out. I can see the runway. So I'm just trying to make sure that I am looking at this correctly. I think I am. Yep. We got this. So I had to make a right turn to get myself set up for a left downwind. So the runway heading is in the bottom of my my heading indicator. So right here I should be 1,000 feet above, so I'm right at about 1,000 feet. So all that looks good. Make sure I'm not too tight to the airport, to the runway. I'm low enough I can dump in a notch of flaps. I'm waiting until I see the end of the runway there before I do that. Okay. Looks pretty good. Flaps down. So first notch of flaps is in. Now I should be trying to descend a bit here. Not a lot.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, cleared touch and go left, traffic runway 23. Wind 273 at 7.
Okay.
Clear touch and go runway 23 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
That looks good. So we'll go ahead and turn. Flaps down. Second notch of flaps. Flaps down. Have to stop talking so it actually works. I'm not letting the plane descend, so the airspeed dropped a bit. The glare will make this fun. Trying to see that runway. .500 feet to go. Flaps down. Let's let her descend. Feather the power out. Flaps up. Flaps up. Flaps up. Power on. Rotate. Like I'm looking for a heading of 59 degrees, 8 miles up. On target. That went well. Pull power back. Tees transporter. Huh. Interesting.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, cleared touch and go left, traffic runway 23. 1273 at 7.
Set 1.
Cleared for touch and go runway 23 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Set 3.
Teesside Tower Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, cancel landing intention.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, your cancellation is received.
I'll pull the power back a little bit here. Let her, just let it kind of slowly descend a bit. Because if the elevation back there was 161, you would think that around here would be the same. So I'm still at like 1,000 feet above the ground. So looking at a bridge on the ground, probably at 1,000 feet isn't the right approach. So I'll probably go down to 500 feet or something like that. Probably no lower than that. That's 500 feet. Try to get enough power in to make it kind of happy here. Not descend anymore. So I'm right around 2,000 RPM right now. And it's holding that altitude. Like 450, 500, something like that. Yeah, we'll see what I can do here. Cockpit. Still a lot of aliasing going on. Not seeing them as nice as I would like to. But it's a better view out of the cockpit. Cockpit. So we'll, yeah, I did pretty good there. I like that. It works out pretty well. So I'm going to increase the power a little bit and make a turn here to kind of get headed back the same direction. There's where we're going next. Get myself lined up here. Cockpit. Yeah, there's things to learn. That's pretty cool. Cockpit. Cockpit. My biggest fear is to not be able to get back in the cockpit. That is my biggest fear. You kind of go like, it would be like out of the cockpit and you lose control of the plane or something, and and you get to see it from the outside view. Oh well. It's all learning. I'm just having, I am having fun. Alrighty. We're headed to this Durham Cathedral that is right over here, so got a big marker there, so I don't have to look at the I'm coming right by though. This will be good. Yeah, I'll be okay. Cockpit. Cockpit. Oh yeah. Cockpit. Alrighty. Yeah, because when you're doing an orbit in a cockpit, you basically gotta like just do glances at the at what you're looking at. Where this is a lot better. It'd be better if I had the my flight instruments out there with me, but one problem at a time. It's like a bunch of windmills coming up. Gotta check my anti-aliasing settings because I'm getting a lot of aliasing going on, and not sure if the setting's wrong or just the lighting conditions just is conducive to make that happen, because there's a lot of windmills here. Cockpit. You have to fly this way for a while to judge your height, you know, above the ground. I know the plane's trimmed and it's been flying pretty level, so I'm not too concerned, but it is a little difficult to judge that. The heading is easy because I'm going to a target, but the impression you have is that you're descending. Cockpit. And actually it was the opposite. I was ascending. Cockpit. That was interesting, because you had the impression like I was descending, and actually I'm ascending. Not a lot. I'm up, oh, I don't know, 100 or 200 feet. So not a lot, but the impression. And then you can see the shadows here of the windmill. You can actually see it on the ground where the satellite image of it. It's funny. You can see it here, see it over there. That's hilarious. Yeah, if I remember right, this cathedral's pretty good looking. There are windmills over here too. Wow. Yeah, I come in here from a different direction the last time I come here. Not bad. Cockpit. So I pulled back the power just a smudge to get it to descend a little bit. Must be a quarry or something here. Sure looks that way. So, next. So, next attraction will be at 359 degrees. So that'll be heading north. So, we're going to Durham, Durham Cathedral here, and then the next place we're going is Angels of the North. I'm going to try to get a little bit lower here. Just checking my fuel supply. Looks like I'll be okay. It's pretty common for me to end up with the indicator indicator in the cockpit saying low fuel warning. So I tend not to fill them too full. Normally about half. Normally have it filled about half. So. Okay. Trying to get it trimmed. Looking pretty good. Cockpit. Pretty cool. Cockpit. I'm not confident enough to do a turn out of the cockpit. If I had all my instruments with me, it would be a non-issue, but not without them. Not without them. I'm going to try to do a fairly steep turn here. I'm going to get headed back in the same direction, or in the opposite direction. Headed back to the cathedral. get straightened up before I... There we go. Well, this will work. Cockpit. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm glad I figured out how to do this and comfortable doing it. Cockpit. Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch the VOD and see how this looks. From what I'm seeing through my headset, it looks pretty good, but it doesn't mean anything. VR always looks better to the person with the headset on than to the person who's watching it on a stream. It's a sad fact of life. Whoops. Had a glitch. Like a huge stutter. It was quick, but it was big. It was like my headset thought it was to the right 30, 40, 50 degrees, and then back to straight. Yeah, so we only got a few stops left. You know, total maybe after this one here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 miles after this one. So I'm way good on fuel. Oh, I got a little too much power in here. Pull it down. I'm just trying to be level at 1,000 feet. Yeah, and I want to see this one from outside the cockpit for sure. This is pretty cool up here. Excuse me. I guess I thought it was on the coast more, but there's water out there, but certainly isn't on the coast. So the elevation of the final airport is 263. So so pattern will be about 1,300. What kind of runways we got? Looks like we got one. $725. The other one was 23. We'll probably be going to 25. But I've been surprised many times. So I think I got figured out what runway we're landing at, and they go, no, you're landing at a different one. Trying to descend a little bit here, get a better view of it. We got a track down there. Interesting. It's a big building there. Wow. Hmm. Cockpit. There is Angels of the North. Pretty cool looking. Can get little stutters there. Cockpit. So I'm going to turn over this way a little bit. There's like a hill right here, so I'm trying not to get too close to it because I'm about 500 feet. And I'll spin back around and do another pass at it. I'm going to be out far enough where I can get myself turned around here and get lined up to do another pass outside the airplane. At least that's the goal. But I am only 500 feet above the ground, so I don't want to do anything too stupid. See where I'm at. I'd say I'm good. Cockpit. Cockpit. Certainly pretty neat. Cockpit. I think that next bridge I think is at this elevation, so we'll spin around here. It's not very far away. It's only like a mile, 3 miles away. So because the ground rises right here, so cockpit. Yeah, how far away? Cockpit. Cockpit. And also trying to keep the plane slowed down, so I'm doing like about 80 knots, so cockpit. Pretty cool. This is James Park. Trying to get my view to go right over it. Awesome. Cockpit. So I'm going to spin around, do another left-hand turn here, and kind of do a pass across both of them. And then we're going to do a landing. Watching my airspeed drop just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. It was pretty steep into this turn, but I liked that I had enough power in, so that was good. Trying to get level here. Cockpit. Pretty neat. I'll try to go over to that bridge without losing too much airspeed. I'll straighten up here. Quite neat. Cockpit. Set 2. Set 1.
Newcastle Tower Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf is 6 miles southeast with Sierra to land.
Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf Newcastle Tower. Enter left base runway 25. Altimeter 29er.9er to wind 273 at 7.
Make left base runway 25 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf cleared to land runway 25. Wind 273 at 7.
Cleared to land runway 25 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
A little bit low. I don't need that much power. So, trying to find the runways. Yep, sure enough, got low fuel indicators on. Perfect. So far, I have to say I can't see a runway. How far away is it? Oh, 3. Okay, well, that probably is true. 7,600 feet, so I'm pretty sure it's not grass, but I thought I had landed there before. Okay. So they said a left base. So the heading indicator is over to my left, so it also means that I don't need to have as much altitude. There it is. They said a left base, huh? Okay. Trying to find this runway. I want to be far enough out. I want to be low enough. Okay, that's the end of the runway. Okay. It slowed down. Flaps down. That's way too much power out, Bill. Flaps down. Left base. All the red lights say don't land there. So I got 2 notches of flaps in. Plane's trimmed up pretty good. Flaps down. Okay, we're across the threshold. Brakes on.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, turn next taxiway.
Okay, I'll do that. Hey, there you go. You're gonna show me where to go. Cool. I was really worried about these clouds, but they seem to be okay, so my worries were unfounded. Getting just a few stutters right here. Not a lot, but man, I'd love to find a 390. 3090. Run a 2080 Ti and
6 Bravo Golf exit, runway when able.
okay, I'll do that. Which way am I going? Oh, looks like I'm turning this way. Okay. That's when I plan these flights.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, contact ground on 121.73.
I plan a parking place at the
Going to
destination runway.
121.73 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
So there should be a place. What? Yeah, there's people waiting for me. Oh, cool. Perfect. Parking brake.
Adjusting parking brake.
Flaps up. Flaps up. Flaps up. Avionics off. Pull out the mixture. Toot, 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 toot. That's crazy the way they do that. Alrighty. Let's slide this out of the way. Cool. Nav light. Taxi light. Landing light. Beacon light. Master battery.
Adjusting master battery.
Master alternator.
Setting alternator.
Magnetos off. Magnetos off. I thought I could get away with that. Magnetos off. Magnetos off.
Setting magnetos to off.
Magnetos off.
Setting magnetos to off.
Cool. Alrighty, we made it. Flight went well. Landings went well. I figured out the patterns in enough time. They give me a left base, so what that actually means is that from downwind, you should be 1,000 feet above the runway. So when they give you a left base, that means that you should be 500 feet lower, basically, or at least 250 feet lower when you're on left base. And then when you go to turn final, you got to get rid of that last however many feet. So when they give you left base, you have to be a little bit lower. So you have to put out your flaps quicker. Because normally on downwind, when you turn to base on downwind, or right before you turn, when you're by the numbers, you're going to put your first notch of flaps out. Well, I like to land with all my flaps out when I land. So you have to do all that in a little bit of a quicker succession. So it all worked out in the end. It's good stuff. So I got to do some more testing on my VR HUD, and I will get in contact with the developer after I get done here, and kind of see if we can figure something out. But without any further ado, it's been a lot of fun. Anybody who wants to see more of this kind of content, go ahead and click on the follow button, and so you can you click on that, and you get the notification on. You can tell when I go ahead and then stream, and I know it's difficult for a lot of people to kind of watch VR streamer. Just what I see through my eyes is what I would actually see in real life, but projected onto a flat screen, it leaves a lot to be desired. So I'm gonna look at the VOD, and especially the outside view stuff, to see if that is more presentable. And if it is, I'll just fly that way more, and just to make the stream more enjoyable for more people, because that's kind of what it's all about, So like I said, I'm going to be in Microsoft Flight Simulator streaming VR for probably until at least the Sim Update 3, and we'll see what it brings. And but sometime after that, then I'm going to switch back to X-Plane, and I'm going to fly over to the same area. I'm going to be in the UK, but I'm going to be using X-Plane and be using Orbix scenery. So we're going to call it a wrap. Everybody have a great day, and I know I've had a lot of fun today. So thank you. Bye bye.